1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Happy Merry Monday. You tuned into Real Talk with Mary J. We're live on the air. This is New Orleans Talk Network. We thank you all for tuning in, our listening audience. We're here every morning at 10 a.m. I hope you're having a merry morning this morning. This is Monday morning, and we're getting ready to go into our Strongman episode. We're so glad our callers are standing by and you're listening to New Orleans Talk Network radio broadcast again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have all month long, we have dedicated the month of June to men. The number 6 is the number of man, and we want you to come in and tune in with us as we talk about the strong man. We've been dealing with the strong man for the month of June. Our first guest was none other than Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr. He brought it, y'all. He really did. He talked about the strong man for our first day, our segment of the strong man episode. And we're going to go in a little deeper as the month goes by. But in dealing with the strong man, ladies, listen, you have to understand that we have to allow the men to be who they are in our lives. They are the stronger vessel. They are the head. They're the leader of our household. They're the band around our house for those of us that are married, that have a spouse. And if we continue to allow the men to be who they are in our lives, you'll be able to have that strong man that you so desire. So we can just get out of the way, ladies, just for a bit. We know that we're liberated. We know that we're walking in our authority, but we're still under authority. But if you have a strong man in your life, allow that man to be who he is. Make him feel like he's the king. If you allow him to be the king, he would be that. He would be able to represent well. But in talking about the strong man, we're going to deal with it from all aspects. We're going to deal with the strong man. We're going to deal with the camouflage man. Yeah, you know what the camouflage man, ladies? That's the representative, the one who comes before you pretending. Bishop Blake said he calls them the actor. And so we're going to talk about the actor on this morning as well. The one who pretends that he has it all together and he really doesn't. The one that would make you believe that he is single, but ladies, perhaps he is married. So we want to talk about the pretender, the actor, the camouflage man. So when we deal with the camouflage man, what is exactly that we're looking for? One of the things that you can find out whether the man is camouflaged or not, pay attention to details. We're very thorough. We recognize details. Pay attention to the details. What time is he calling you? Are you able to talk to him in the morning? Are you able to talk to him late at night? Is there a specific time that you're able to talk to him and communicate with him throughout the week? Are you just on Fridays? Are you able to really talk to him on Monday morning or after work hours? Or is it only doing the drive-by headed to the house when he's getting home and you don't hear from him? Is he just a texter? Is he just texting you, ladies, and you get all text and no verbal communication with him? You have to randomly be able to call that man any time of the week, any time of the day, if he is your man, if he claims to be your man. So that's some of the things that you look for when we deal with the camouflage man. So don't be silly. Don't be bamboozled. Know who you're dealing with. Do your research. Google. You can Google the man, his name, some information may pop up. You can check it out that way. Google him. His address will pop up. You would know where he lived. Now, that's only to reserve yourself. That's not for you to get crazy and foolish. That's not for you to go out and look for him. That's only for you to have information to understand who exactly you're dealing with, because we know that men would pretend to be somebody that they're not. They will pretend to be unmarried when they are, and we don't want women to be foolish and fall into that not knowing and unaware. Now, listen, if a man tells you that he is in the process, y'all, because I get that all the time. I have men tell me that they're in the process of getting their divorce. If he's in the process, let him continue on in his process. Let him go through his process now until it's final and it's done. Don't get caught up in the process, because a lot of times we get involved in relationships going through the process thinking that, okay, once he's done and he deals with that, everything is going to be well. But what happens if you begin to catch feelings for that man during the process? And now you're in love with the man that's married because he's in the process now, and you're entangled, and the process never comes to a finalization. So let's be wise women. Let's not be foolish women. Let's not get caught up into our own emotions, because we're very emotional. Allow the men to go through their process. If that's where they are and that's the season they're in, allow them to go through their process, and you just keep it moving. Now, ladies, one thing I want to tell you all is that whatever is for you is for you. You don't have to run behind a man. You don't have to go chasing a man. I hear a lot of women say, I'm just looking for a really good man. That's the problem. We don't have to look for him. God laid him down and put him to sleep and pulled us out of him, and we were there. He woke up and found us. So if you don't have to go looking for him, he's going to find you. If he's yours, if he's really meant to be with you, he's going to find you. One thing I found now, we're living in a time where everybody is liberated. We're in a whole new generation. Everybody is so aggressive, and we have women now that are being the aggressor and we have the men that are being more passive because they're used to having the aggressor. So they're used to having a woman to chase them, to call them, to hook up with them, to ask them out. That's the days that we're really living in now. And now we have men that have no longer became the hunter, but now they're being hunted by the women. So we want to deal with that. That's camouflage. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to meet them where they are and be the woman, be the lady that you know that you are, and have that man to pursue you. I love a good chase. I don't know. I love a good chase. I am a hunter because my daddy taught me how to hunt. I was raised with 6 boys, so I know all about the hunting process. I know how to hunt. I know about the camouflage. I know how to go in the woods and play still and not even whisper. Don't even have a sound, because you have to be so still and so quiet, because when a deer comes out of the woods, if he hears you, if is there any movement, he's going to be gone. So I understand it. And that's the same things that happens with us. We have to be that deer that is in the woods, that remains still and quiet. We don't have to go prancing, running back and forth, trying to be seen. Let that man come and find you. And if you just stay there and play as a deer, he's going to spot you. He's going to see you. He's going to pursue you, and he's going to conquer. So love a good chase, ladies. This is Real Talk with Mary J. We're staying connected. We're going to talk even more, but we're going to deal with that camouflage man. Yes, we are. We're going to deal with him, because he is the one that is coming forward as the representative. He will pretend to be that man of God. We know we like a man of God. We always want somebody who's connected to the Lord, but the Bible even talks about them as wolves in sheep clothing. So you really have to know who you're working with. Just because he goes to church doesn't mean that he's saved and he loved the Lord. A lot of them go to church looking for easy prey. And believe it or not, a lot of us Christian women, we are considered easy prey. You know why? Because a lot of times we're so deep and we get so spiritual, and we believe that everything is from the Lord. So we're not really walking in wisdom, and we have to tune in to our discernment that's within us and know who sent you exactly. Who really sent you? Where did you really come from? Who really sent you? But we get so infatuated and so engulfed with having somebody. Let's begin to work on who we are. Okay, we're dealing with a camouflage man. If you know some camouflage men, ladies, and you want to know how to maneuver, what to do, how you can break through, and how you can just get over that person that you got engulfed with and you didn't know, you were bamboozled, tune into Real Talk with Mary J. Give me a call at 504-341-8255. And I want some strong men out there. Strong men, if you hear me today and you know you're a strong man. You're not a camouflage man, but you're the real deal. Tune in. I want to hear from you this morning at 504-341-8255. I want to hear from you on Real Talk with Mary J. We're keeping it real. Yes, it's 10 a.m. in the morning. We're going to keep it real on Real Talk with Mary J. I want to hear from you. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next, we're going to deal with the strong man. We're going to talk about the camouflage man. And as well with the camouflage man, we want to talk about, listen, the caved man. That's what we're going to talk about even on today, the caved man. Who is the caveman, Mary J? The caveman is the one that goes into the mental process of his mind, that tunnel, that dark tunnel later that he doesn't express his emotions. He doesn't let us in. We want to talk about him on today. We're getting ready to go into our break, but I want you to stay right there by your radio. Tune in to Real Talk with Mary J at 504-341-8255.
This is Tanya Free. We have now had the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history in Orlando over the weekend, described by President Obama as an act of terror and an act of hate. When will we have a real discussion on common sense gun control? The Dump Trump movement is still in effect. What's your take? Can, will, and should the GOP go all the way with Donald, Hillary, and Elizabeth? Is America really ready for an all-female ticket? Georgia Senator David Perdue told a gathering of religious conservatives that we need to be very specific about how we pray. He suggested using Psalm 109:8, which reads, "Let his days be few, and let another have his office." The next line of the song reads, "Let his children be fatherless and his wife a widow." Wow. Let's talk about these stories and more. Live this Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Central.
Join Tanya Free and friends at TanyaFree.com. On air, online, and on point.
Bethesda House of Prayer. Bethesda is a church for non-traditional worshipers, a church designed for those who love God's word. Would you like to attend a church where believers and non-believers can choose to worship together? A church where cultural differences does not get in the way of God's message. We invite you to be our special guest. Our services begin 9 a.m. on Sunday, located at 7601 West Bank Expressway, Suite B, Marrero, Louisiana. For more information, contact us at 504-348-0132.
This is Captain Black.
This is Brother Al Mims. Join us for our new show,
The Hostages That Fight Back, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central.
We are all hostages to something.
But it's up to us.
Find the courage to fight back and make the change.
So tune in to become the change you want to see in the world, here on New Orleans Talk Network.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
This is the Reverend D. Dunn
and Charles Stewart.
We will be coming to you live every Monday, 11 to 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network, hosting a new show, A Church Without Walls. The church is us, and the church is you. We are a church with no boundaries. Stay as long as you want, leave when you want. Remember, every Monday, 11 to 12 noon, tune into A Church with No Walls.
Don't you dare miss it.
Happy Merry Monday. You've tuned into Real Talk with Mary J. We're keeping it live and real as always. We thank you for coming in, tuning in with us once more. We just came back from our commercial break. Yes, we're dealing with the strong man for the month of June. The number 6 is the number of man, and we're going to talk about the strong man. But you know what? Before we become a strong man, before a man even becomes who he is, he goes through a process. So we're going to talk about all of those processes during the month of June. We're going to deal with the strong man, but we're going to also deal with the camouflaged man, the representative, the one that goes before, is the one that's trying to get it together, ladies. He doesn't quite have it together yet. He's camouflage, and he's making you believe and pretending to be somebody that he isn't. But we deal with that on today as well. Also, the caved man, the one who goes into the tunnel of his mind, that mental state. A lot of times men don't process as well as women. We're very detailed, we're very thorough, but some men internalize things and they go into the cave of their mind and they shut down. They deal with it. It's called you heard the man cave, ladies. You heard that before. So that's what we're talking about. But we're talking about the caved man, the mental process, that tunnel in the back of his mind where he deals with his emotions, because they don't like to act. They don't like to let us know that they have emotions, ladies, but they do. He deals with his emotions and he processes them a little differently. But we're going to talk about the caveman as well. The camouflaged man, the representative. We're going to deal with both of them as well as the strong man. I have a caller on the air. We have Captain Black. He's on the air with us this morning, ladies. We're going to talk about the strong man, and we wanted to have him to be a part of the show for Real Talk with Mary J. Captain Black, are you on the air this morning, sir?
I am here, and I am waiting to see which man I may or may not be.
All right. Well, you know what? I believe that you might find yourself have been at least one or three of these men at some point. You may not be all of them now, but at some point you probably touched it at some point. But I am so delighted to have you on this morning on Real Talk with Mary J. And I know you're going to be bringing it back with us on the first Monday in July. Captain Black, I would love to have you to come back on with us live in color in studio the first Monday. All right. We're going to be dealing with the strong man because we're dealing with it for the entire month of June. But in July, we're going to talk about it even more because July will be where we focus on the family. And we're going to deal with some family matters. We're going to deal with some generational curses. And we want you to come back for the first Monday in July to talk about the strong man, because we believe, and I know the Bible tells me, so I believe it wholeheartedly. I don't care how liberated we are women, and I know I'm a strong woman, I'm a liberated woman, but I still believe that the man is the head, and he is the head of the house. And if we allow the men to be who they are and put them in their prospective places, all the households will flow accordingly. So Captain Black, so thank you for coming on. Tell us today, you can talk about, and I know you can deal with any one of these subject matters, the strong man, the camouflaged man, and the caved man. Let's deal with the strong man first.
Let's look at the camouflage man for a second.
Okay, let's deal with that.
And as men, we know that there are brothers in the ranks who, and it's some psychologists and some therapists call them the great pretenders. You know,
right.
The guys who,
that's it.
It's like a spy story. He comes up with a cover story.
Right.
And what he presents to the world, men and women included,
yes,
is what he feels people want to hear. So a lot of times the individual he is talking to likes sports, and suddenly he was the greatest athlete in his high school and college, in the history of the high school and college. If an individual, if he's trying to impress a woman, he may rent a car, borrow his homeboy's car, steal a car, latest model, so that he can look like he's wealthy. There's a lot of insecurity. If you're going to be a man and present yourself to the public, I don't think that there is any risk in simply stating, this is who I am.
Right.
This is what I believe. And if you are a spiritual man, then you realize that your ultimate value is firmly rooted in your faith and the extent to which your faith is shown in your walk. And that's it. I mean, it's as simple as the Ten Commandments and as complicated as we choose to make it.
That's right. And I believe that. Men come in all shapes and form. They represent who they're trying to be, and also they're camouflaged at some point where they pretend to be somebody that they really are not. And you said it. I mean, to the extent of going out borrowing a car and stealing a car. But you know what? We need to deal with that too as ladies, as women, because a lot of times that we judge a book by its cover, and we expect the man to be somebody that is presented to us in a material form. Because if a man feels like he has to borrow a car to get a woman's attention, if that's what she's looking for and that's who she's looking at, then
or
that's
he has to lie about his job, or lie that he's this great entrepreneur.
Yes.
Notice the theme: lie, 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 lie. Because ultimately, he is not secure in himself. He's not confident in himself. And he's trying to use externals instead of the internal. Because at the end of the day, who you are on the inside is going to show through, no matter how good an actor you are. If it's good, more the better. If it's bad, then whatever lie you told this woman is going to blow up in your face at some point.
At some point, definitely. And then, if a man is who he really is on the inside, and allow that to illuminate on the outside. I know as a woman, I can speak for myself as a woman, that this is something that I live by, and that's my model that I have. I never, and it's not just with men, it's with anybody, but I would never require a person to be able to give more than they're capable of giving. And if I meet a man and I know that he's not capable of being or giving to me something that I should not expect that of him. And sometimes we put too much pressure without expectations on what we want. And some people pretend to be that just for you to get you. And then when they've conquered you, then you realize that they're really not who they say they are, and they're not.
You just hit the nail on the head when they conquer you. Because at the point, really, it's not about love. It's not about companionship.
Right.
It's about conquest.
Right.
Being seen with you, advancing with you in whatever matters he does. I know it's a family show. So whatever matters that he may advance with a given woman, it's all for the glory of his ego. And it's not because he's trying to build a life with her. He wants to be seen with her. He wants to be able to brag to his homeboys about whatever it is they're doing. Ladies, gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. That's the whole objective. I've never found the need to have to role play and pretend. I am who I am.
Right.
Very simple. But living in the male world, I see a bunch of brothers who really need to be in Hollywood because they're on stage 24/7. They're playing the role. Sometimes the lie is so convincing that they believe it themselves.
Yes. And I believe that. And I believe that they've been playing it for quite some time. Just like you said, the role that they're playing is so convincing that they forget that they're really pretending. Yes. They really forget that they are pretending. But we're gonna deal with that. Because and I believe the camouflaged man, because they come suited really well, and I tell young ladies that all the time, especially when it comes to social media, because there's so much information on social media. You can really build a whole image of somebody that you are not, just by social media. And then a man can pursue a woman just going through her page, just seeing what she's interested in, how she thinks,
Once again, the spy novel, detective aspect. He is investigating her. He is finding her likes, her interests, so that he can craft a narrative to draw her in and conquer her.
Exactly. Conquer. So ladies, we have to be mindful.
But with Negroes in our case,
Yeah, and and I love Jane Bond's movie too. I'm a kind of action girl. I love impact action, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But we have to be mindful of that as well. Captain Black, I don't want you to go anywhere. If you can,
Sure.
just stay on the line because we're going to connect and talk more about what we're going to deal with as you would come forth in the month of July for the first Monday. Captain Black will be on Real Talk with Mary J. the first
And with
Monday.
Brother Al Mims.
And Brother
Strong,
L.
#1 cry
Mims.
about that mentor. Can't leave him out.
All right. The hostages that fight back. That's right. Brother L. Mims will join him on Real Talk with Mary J. So I want you all to pencil that. Remember, Real Talk with Mary J on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. You can download the app NOTN and listen in on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. I have another caller that is on the line, and he wants to share with us as it relates to the strong man. Patrick, are you standing by? Patrick, are you on the air? You tuned into Real Talk with Mary J.
Good morning. Good morning. I am here. How's everything this morning?
Good morning, sir. Everything is good this morning. Thank you for
Awesome.
tuning in with us this morning. We've been
Awesome.
dealing
My
with
pleasure.
the strong man, Brother Patrick, all month long. In the month of June, of course, the strong man, the camouflaged man, and the caved man. So, Patrick, I know you've been hearing Real Talk with Mary J. You do tune in with us at 10 p.m. on Monday nights. But what is it that you have to say today, this morning, that you want to share with our listening audience as it relates to the strong man, the camouflaged man, or even the caved man?
Well, I believe that a strong man can be very many things, but first, a strong man, any strong man, has to have a direct connection with God.
Amen.
You will not find strength in anything outside of a relationship with God, and your direct connection with God opens up doorways and pathways to an inner strength that will far transcend anything else. And because of that, it would allow you to stand firmly and stand strongly on your beliefs and in several different things. You can be the leader of your household. You can be the leader on your job. You can be the leader in several different aspects. But in order to first become a strong man, a strong, positive man, you have to have that open line, that direct connection with God. Without that, nothing else is possible.
That's so good, Patrick. And you're right. To be a strong man, of course, first and foremost, that God has to be the head of your life, the center of your life, and he's the one to lead and direct us through all truth.
Correct. Correct.
That's so true. Now, as it relates to being a strong man, Patrick, let me hear from you because you're such a gentleman. I want to say that you're such a gentleman.
Thank you.
And when it comes to be a strong man, let me find out from you, because we're dealing with the strong man and we talk about it. We have about 4 minutes. I want you to touch this for me. What is it that you believe that a strong man looks for in a woman? Because a lot of times, I believe every woman wants a strong man. But then there's sometimes, and we just finished dealing with it for the month of May, the strong woman. Sometimes we as women become so strong, we don't allow our men to be who they are to us. And that's a strong man. Sometimes we try to usurp that authority. But what is it that a strong man is looking for in a woman? Can we deal with that this morning for a bit?
Of course. And I've said this before. I look for a woman, when looking for a strong woman, I look for a woman who can embrace her strength as well, who can embrace her femininity and her independence. A woman who's not very overbearing, because it doesn't take a whole lot to show strength, to show your ability to be strong. And women are much, much stronger than we give them credit for, just to start things off. Because there's no way any man on this earth
is ever going to give birth at any time to anything. So
right.
To say first and foremost, women are far stronger than I think we give them credit for. But at the same time, I think because of that strength, sometimes they feel that they have to be too strong or too independent, especially in the Black community. I think a lot of times we are so tuned into the fact that in a lot of households that the mother is pretty much mother and father. You have a lot of single parent households, so mother usually takes on that role. But when I look for strength, I look for a woman who can, if she needs to be, mother and father. Because, like I say, she embraces her independence, but at the same time, she knows when to relinquish control. You don't have to be strong all the time if you have someone else who's strong to lean on. And that goes both ways. It works both ways, both for both men and women. Because at some point, even as a man, the strongest men sometimes also need help.
Right, right.
You know, we can't do anything here alone. So even at the same time, I expect my lady that if I fall into a problem, you know, she's the first person that I would go to for help. She's the first person that I would go to and be able to talk to, because one, she can hold an intelligent conversation. She's very knowledgeable in all things. Okay, when we have matters with family, her opinion matters because she's just as much involved in this as I am. I may be the head of my household, but she's not very far behind. You know, the woman a lot of times, I don't care what household, and especially the household I grew up in. I grew up with a very strong mother and a very strong father, and they worked together and they made the unit of family. My father may have been the head of our household, but my mother was definitely strengthened.
Wow, and that's solid, and that's what we're talking about. And I'm glad you kept it real on this morning. Even to say that your father was the head, but your mother was the strong, and that's really the reality, because women are the backbone to every strong man. That's why we had to be taken out of the man from his rib. We're getting ready to go into our break. Thank you, Patrick, for tuning in with us on this morning on Real Talk with Mary J.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir, for coming in and sharing with us this morning your point of view on the strong man. I appreciate it so much.
My pleasure.
New morning show alert. New morning show alert. The Warren Ballantyne Show airs daily from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Time, bringing you the news you need to know. The Warren Ballantyne Show, now on the New Orleans Talk Network.
Bethesda House of Prayer. Bethesda is a church for non-traditional worshipers, a church designed for those who love God's word. Would you like to attend a church where believers and non-believers can choose to worship together? A church where cultural differences does not get in the way of God's message. We invite you to be our special guest. Our services begin 9 a.m. on Sunday, located at 7601 West Bank Expressway, Suite B, Marrero, Louisiana. For more information, contact us at 504-348-0132.
This is Tanya Free. While Republicans are trying to rein in Donald Trump, Democratic presumptive nominee Hillary Clinton has received an endorsement from President Obama. After giving a powerful critique of Trump, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren also endorsed Clinton. There has been speculation among political pundits of a Clinton-Warren Democratic presidential ticket. Some think it would be a dream ticket, while others think we are not ready for an all-female ticket. What's your take? Is the country ready for an all-female ticket? Would you cast your vote for a Clinton-Warren ticket?
Join Tanya Free and friends at TanyaFree.com. On air, online, and on point.
Crown Properties Incorporated, development and property management specialists, specializing in commercial and residential properties. With over 20 years experience, we specialize in property management, tenant placement, rent collection. We also manage single group housing. We have a full-time maintenance staff. 24-hour emergency on-call services, and we're fully licensed and insured. Let us do all the work while you receive the monthly checks at Crown Properties Incorporated. For more information, call 504-366-4001. That number again is 504-366-4001. Or come visit us at 405 Gretna Boulevard, Suite 109, Gretna, Louisiana. Crown Properties Incorporated. For all your property management needs. You be the investor, we'll be the landlord. Crown Properties Incorporated.
Are you looking for an alternative to conservative? Real Brother Radio is now on New Orleans Talk Network every day, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. New Orleans Talk Network. We provide the topics, you provide the conversation.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
Happy Merry Monday. You tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J on this morning. You're listening to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I hope you download the app and you can share with us every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're keeping it real. We're dealing with the Strong Man episode all month for the month of June. The number 6 is actually the number of man. So we're going to bring it to you from the Strong Man perspective. Of course, we're going to talk about the camouflaged man, the representative, the actor. Bishop Blakes calls him the actor, and he is dead on. He is the actor. He's the one that makes us believe that he is somebody that he is not. We're going to talk about him a little deeper on today as well. And I want you to tune into Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Go to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. tonight. We'll be going in a little deeper on tonight. But for our radio listeners, if you come back then with us from break, we hope that you have tuned in with us again, because we have Captain Black. He's still standing by on the call with us this morning. I appreciate the man for coming in to share with us, to tune in with Real Talk with Mary J. He will be my special guest for the first Monday in July. He and L. Sims, they're going to be on with us, and we are appreciative of the hostages that fight back. Captain Black, are you still on, sir?
I'm still here. I'm not scared.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's a strong man right there. Ain't scared of nothing. But thank you for standing and sticking by with us this morning. Of course, you heard from our caller, Patrick, that was on. He said that the strong man has to be first and foremost the head of the house. He has to be centered by God, and God is his head. And as God leads, the strong man follows. One thing that stood out, Captain Black, this morning that Patrick, our caller, said is that sometimes we as women become too strong of a woman, and we're too independent, and we don't allow a man to be who he is to us, to help us. And I can kind of attest to that. That was an ouch for me, because and I say this, and not in the sense of not allowing a man to be strong, but because I am an independent thinker, I'm an independent, strong woman. I kind of do a whole lot by myself, but I do understand that when you have a man there to be your covering, to be your support, that we as women have to allow that man to be who he is to us. So,
well, I think as Black people, we have to, one, understand that right now, 2016, over 70% of our households are being led by women.
Right.
The state of the Black relationship is either non-existent or in crisis. Take your pick. Right. We have a lot of hostility toward each other, and these are the issues that we need to address, because the way we govern ourselves is the direction our community goes in. And right now, the community is going off the rails. And Patrick, very sensitive man, very good man, not trying to cast aspersions on anything he said, But I really think that just like you shouldn't turn to me for permission to be yourself, I, as a strong man, should not turn to anybody to say, well, baby, can I be strong today? Or can I be strong next week? Can we pencil that in on the schedule? I mean, we've got to come, I think at least, and I could be wrong because I've been out of circulation for a long time.
What do you mean out of circulation?
Voluntarily. I mean, I just looked at trends in society, and I realized that the values and the traditions that I think at least lead to successful individuals, families, and communities, if we're honest, that stuff no longer exists. That's not what is defining the Black family. We don't have a family anymore, some would argue. So I sort of withdrew myself from the process and said, well, I'm just going to observe for now. Because we've got things going on that only we can solve, but we've got to be honest about it. I've heard brothers, I remember one brother years ago, because for some reason I found myself in these situations where people talk to me. And he was like, man, you know, my girlfriend, she won't let me be a man. I said, stop right there, bro.
Really?
Who let you?
Exactly.
You let yourself be a man.
Right.
Now, you don't need to be putting, if your definition of manhood is putting your hands on her or being verbally abusive, then you don't need to be with her. And then, of course, you need to see why you're acting out in such a hostile fashion. But we, in our community, and I know that the strong Black woman is something that has become like almost the center of the community now, because we have so many single-headed households. But they're basic roles that men have and women have. And yes, in 2016, I know it's not the ancient days of Moses or any other prophets, but we need to try to at least keep, I think, certain traditional values, certain traditional roles intact as we navigate this world. And as Black people, if we're very honest, a lot of the standards for success that we are aspiring to were not set by us. And if either one of us comes up short, we're busy arguing with each other over rules that we did not even create in the first place, or roles, pardon me, we didn't create in the first place, not biblical roles, not God-sent roles, but roles as a society, which we've often found ourselves at odds with, have set forth. And, you know, that's the type of deep analysis I think we need to bring to this, or otherwise we set ourselves up for failure. If our women feel they're too strong to have a man, quote, if our men feel like our women are too argumentative and headstrong and start seeking women from other ethnicities, then it begs the question, where does that leave the state of the Black relationship? And if Black relationships are the foundation of the Black community, then what's the state of the Black community? I submit to you, look around us, look at all this chaos. Does it really look like we like each other? Domestic violence, violent crime, abandoned children, women. I mean, here's what I see. Whenever you go, if you're standing in a school area and you're watching parents drop off their kids, how many times do you see men with the kids? It's almost like some great war happened, and many of the men are dead and wounded, and only the women and children are left behind.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I look at things kind of tactically, because I'm just curious about why we find ourselves in the position we find ourselves. Why is it Black men and Black women are often fighting each other, as opposed to trying to create harmonious, loving relationships, which become the building blocks for our community? That's my particular focus. And in the midst of all that drama, I laid out. Captain Black said, well, he's going to stand on the sidelines and observe, because I fight enough battles in life. You don't need to fight battles in your home or in your personal life too.
That's right. That's right. But I'm glad that there's a strong man like yourself, my brother, that's there, that's observing. Because
I came from another planet, so yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. I feel you on that. And wow, at least now I don't feel like I'm in this by myself, because I kind of observe too, and I feel the same way. And I think I'm from another planet, because most of my years I've been married. I'm divorced now, but now
you didn't kill him, did you?
Oh no, he's still alive. He could have been dead,
good.
but you know, because God is my head, he was able
All
to
right.
survive it. You know, I let him live.
Okay, good deal. Good.
Yeah.
You have to let them breathe.
Right,
as you
right,
move forward in life.
right. That's it. But I believe that what you said, values and standards, and I'm a pretty traditional girl, and I said even today that's what I see. I see a lot of values and standards and tradition that has been lost, and a lot now that we as strong women and seeing, and there's a thin line, so I have to walk lightly here because I do empower women, but we're not considered strong ladies when we have to do the conquering and the pursuing and the hunting. And that's the thing that I'm just not down with. Maybe call me old-fashioned, call me outdated, call me what you want, but I see so much of that happening nowadays. And like I said, I've been married most of my adult life, so this is all new to me. But what I see now, I see women being the aggressor. I see women being the hunter, the pursuer, and there are men just, you know, they're laying passively, waiting for that phone call, waiting for that text.
Remember now,
what's going
brothers
on?
have been told it's the 21st century.
Right.
It's women's liberation.
Exactly.
We're all equal.
Yes.
I mean, you can't even find a
Yes.
Negro to open the door.
Right.
I
That's
watch
what
women
I'm
almost
talking
walk into
about.
the door.
Right.
A lot of the times. Because the cats are looking at her like, well, you need to get the door if you want to come inside.
Right.
And I don't like where the state of black relationships are. I don't like where black male and female roles are headed, because it's only giving us chaos. Now, it might be progress for other people, but for us, it's creating chaos. Look at what you just laid out. You feel that the men lay back.
Yeah, they are.
And they wait for the phone call.
They do.
Or the woman is doing.
They do.
Doing all the heavy lifting.
They
to
do.
make things happen.
Right.
And you know, we're sort of. It's almost like outside of the combative aspect I talked about a little earlier. It's almost like it's just a survival game. Like brothers, like, well, you know what? If you want to be with me, fine. If you don't want to be with me, fine. If we happen to have kids together, okay, so what? I don't feel like being with you, I'm not going to be with you. I see a lot of that.
Yes.
And for a lot of women, they're like, well, I'd like to see, I need Mr. Right Now. Not Mr. Right. It's just Mr. Right Now. And it might be just an endless series.
That's a little
Right
thirsty.
Now.
That's a little thirsty. And yeah.
And for the children sitting on the couch watching this changing cast of characters and no stability, is it any wonder that our community is in chaos? That we don't have relationships, that our children do not have mothers and fathers raising them together?
Right. Right. So
you know,
true.
This is the stuff I want us to look at. So yeah, I jumped at the chance when you first made the offer to Brother Al and I to be on your show and talk about strong men, because what does strong man mean now in the 21st century to black men? Is it a thug? Does it mean that you need to be beating on a woman, shooting people in the streets, selling drugs, going to jail? Is that the world? Is that the role that men need to embrace? And then on the other hand, sadly, you've got brothers who well-credentialed, well-mannered, and weak as tap water. And I mean, no aspersions on higher education, but it seems like we have not found a balance for what a black man, strong black man is. Either you're a criminal on one end or you're a wimp on the other end. You know, that leaves a whole lot of room in the middle that's not being addressed culturally.
Right, right. And that's so unfortunate. It really is. And it saddens me too to see that it has come to that in the 21st century. And a lot of times that because women are so thirsty, they become the aggressor. They become the one to go after, and it gives the men, you know, hey, very little to do to be a gentleman. And if they're used to that, and that's what they're used to getting, that's something that they deal with.
Now,
but
do you find this in certain age groups?
You know, actually, I can't say for certain, because you know, when we're talking about a new generation, because I found it in those that are in their 30s. I found it in those that are in their 40s, and definitely those that are under 30. It's definitely a goal. We even have today where I see on social media where women are proposing to men and they think it's cute. They're bowing down on one knee and they asking men to marry them. And I'm like, really? You know, what's really going on? But I find it in a lot of different age groups. I've even had men to approach me and gave them my business card when asked, and they'll call me. And, you know, if I don't call them back, you know, they let me know, look, I'm not going to be doing all the calling. I'm thinking, what? Are you serious? Really?
Yeah, well, the brother's trying to tell you it's the 21st century.
Okay.
He can't come out his cool mode.
Okay.
Remember, he's valuable.
Wow.
You gave him your card. You are intrigued by him. You're supposed to, show him
really
that you're interested. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're gonna have to wait on Mary J. They're gonna have to wait on Mary J. Because, I'm just not accustomed to that. I just like a man to be a man, and if he's interested, I believe that when a man is interested, he goes after and pursues that which he's interested in. And I'm not going to be doing all of that, and it's okay. And I'm not that thirsty, and I don't mind being by myself and being strong on my own. But yeah.
Well, let me ask you: do you have a cat? Do you have a dog?
I don't have any animals.
Okay, because I just didn't want you to end up being like, the crazy cat lady.
No, I don't have any animals, and I love them, but no, I don't. That's a whole nother subject, and I don't want to offend anybody. But we have some people that believe they need puppies, and and that kind of thing. And I believe that, if a puppy was all that you need, or any type of animal was all that you needed, when all the animals were on the earth, and then God said it's not good for man to be alone, that I would make a suitable companion. And, we got to get beyond the dog is a man's best friend kind of syndrome, because that's not so. Because if that was the case, you would not have needed a woman. God would have said, you have the lion, the tigers, the bear, all the pets here, Adam, is so there's your companion. But
he didn't have companionship.
He did not. Yeah. So.
And even I would tell anybody that because sometimes even as we skeptically observe, we do understand that man, and that means woman also.
Right.
We are social creatures.
That's right.
But it's just hard to socialize in a world without values or boundaries.
Right.
That's the part that just really disturbs me, because if you were to ask a lot of the younger people, what's your role as a man, or for the females, what's your role as a woman? You'd probably be shocked by the answers they would give, because their world, the world in which they grew up, wasn't bordered by certain values and standards. It's basically anything goes. I mean, like you said, you give your card to somebody and the man informs you, I'm not going to be calling you all the time.
Right.
They said this to Mary. Do you just look at them and say, you do realize I'm Mary J? When I first started at the station, that we heard of you, I said, wow, they got me. Now, I didn't even know who you are, but I just saw you. I said, okay, wow, Mary J, all right. I figured with a name like that, you had to be a big timer.
Oh, come on now, really?
Just saying. Am I not on your show?
You're on my show, so look,
and our brother Al and I scheduled to be on your show the first Monday in July.
That's right. That's right.
So clearly you're not on the Chitlin circuit.
Okay, all right.
You were there when I got there.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Good.
You give credit where credit is due. It doesn't diminish me. I still like myself. I'm just saying.
All right, Captain Black. I'm so glad that you tuned in with us this morning on Real Talk with Mary J.
Here.
There you have it, ladies, the strong man. See, that's a strong brother that has not lost the values and standards and traditions. He said he's just observing. He's standing by, because there's so many women that's already out there that are being the aggressor. So many families that are being broken because the man will not take his rightful place, and that's to stand strong. You don't need a permission to be a strong man. A strong man is who you are. Thank you, Captain Black, for tuning in with us this morning. We hope you had a Merry Monday on this morning with Real Talk with Mary J. We're on the air every Monday morning, Monday Central Standard Time at 10 a.m. Dial into New Orleans Talk Network 504-341-8255.
This is Pastor Don Laura Jones, and you're listening to the New Orleans Talk Network.
Oh my God, I am so